Welcome to our session for student supporters of Algonquin College residence students. So you may be a parent or guardian or somebody else who's supporting a student who will be moving into Algonquin College residence this coming fall. And we have some information we hope will be helpful for you. My name's Jay. I'm the Operations Manager of Administration here at Algonquin College Residence. And joining me today is my colleague William, the Residence Life Manager at Algonquin College Residence, and then also Laura from Algonquin College Campus Services. So just to give you an idea of what kind of content we're going to be covering in this session, we're going to be going over important dates and fee deadlines, some things to make sure that your student does before moving in or before arriving on campus, some things to pack, what not to pack, and some details about move-in day, and also some rules in residence, safety and security, and just generally how can you support your student. And we're also going to give you a great overview on the campus services and some other steps that you want to take to get ready for arrival on campus. So one of the great things about living in Algonquin residence is that we do have a 24/7 staff presence in the building. We have a 24/7 front desk, so there's always a front desk person there as soon as you walk through the front doors, greeting people and then just monitoring who's coming in and out of the building. We also have our administrative staff on site who are available Monday to Friday, 8:30 to 4:30 to help with any administrative questions or issues that your student might be experiencing. We're also available anytime by email. The front desk can be reached over the phone at 613-727-7698. Once your student is here, they can also dial directly from their bedroom telephone 4990 to reach the front desk. And again, algonquincollege.com/residence has lots of great information about residents, including a lot of information for residents themselves while they're here. So they should definitely check out our website, and so should you, and get familiar with the types of resources that are available there. But the main thing to know is that the support is here 24/7 should you or your resident require anything. So as you can see, here's an overview of our building. We are quite a large building, sprawled out over a very large footprint. The building is 4 stories tall in most places. And in the purple section that you see there on the map, that section is 5 stories tall. So we have over 500 suites and over 1,000 bedrooms in the residence. And we're entirely 2-bedroom suite style residence, and we'll get to that on the next slide. But we have quite a large area covered. We have 2 large outdoor areas, our courtyards that are for the exclusive use of resident students, so they are fenced in and private from the rest of the campus community. There's apple trees out there and lots of big lawn area for playing outdoor sports or just enjoying the outdoors. And then we have our small courtyard that has a beach volleyball court, a basketball court, a street hockey court, as well as a shed to store bicycle if you've brought a bicycle with you. And there's lots of picnic benches and benches outside for your enjoyment as well. So that's private outdoor space separate from the rest of the college community. We also have several lounges inside. So we have a movie lounge, several sports lounges with billiards tables, ping pong tables, foosball table. So lots of things to do inside as well. And then we also have several study lounges where you can go use a larger table and maybe meet with a group of friends and maybe use a whiteboard or an LCD television and sort of have a better study experience than you may be able to have inside your room. Sometimes you need that space, and we do have that available here in the residence. In our main front lobby, we do have the 35th Street Market Cafe. So that is run by Food Services, and the meal plan works there. So that's a quick and convenient option. And there's lots of other options for eating on campus that Laura will get into a little bit later. Our building is a secure access. So as I mentioned, those outdoor areas are fenced in, and then all entry and exit goes through the front lobby, which is manned 24 hours a day. So that way we can kind of monitor who's coming and going in the building at all times. So here is our view from above using a 360 camera of one of our residence suites. So as I mentioned, the entire residence is a 2-bedroom suite style setup. So pretty much every room is going to look very similar, if not identical to this. There'd be some small variation throughout the building, but by and large, this is going to be exactly what you're going to see when you walk in. So when you walk into the suite, there is a kitchenette area. The kitchenette includes a table for 2 with chairs, a sink with counter space, a shelf for storage, under the counter storage as well as an apartment size fridge with an upper freezer and the fridge on the bottom. So this is not a mini fridge. It's not a full-size fridge. It's an apartment fridge. So it's a large fridge, but it's not your full-size fridge you might expect from at home. So it is what you call an apartment-size fridge. And then in the bathroom, it's a 3-piece bathroom with a stand-up shower. And each resident has their own private locking bedroom. So in your bedroom, you can close the door, lock it, and you have total privacy from your roommate. And inside your bedroom, you've got a window with a blackout shade. You've got a closet with a rod and a shelf. And then there's a double XL bed. Now the double XL bed is sort of a cross between a double bed and a queen bed. So both double size bedding as well as queen bedding, they'll both fit the mattress. Queen might be a little bit loose. Double might be snug, but they'll both fit. There's also a desk with a chair and a lamp. There's also a telephone in there for making calls on campus as well as local calls. And there's also a 3-drawer dresser. So those are the items that are included in the room. As you can see, the room doesn't allow for a lot of additional furniture, so we definitely don't suggest bringing any additional furniture, apart from maybe a bedside table or a small chest of drawers or something, sort of a, one of those small type ones that you can get at IKEA, but nothing big, no full-size dresser. There's no room for an additional desk or anything like that. And all of the furniture that is in the room needs to stay in the room. So if you do bring anything extra, we can't remove any furniture and store it for you. Everything that's in the suite has to stay there. So just consider that. Don't bring along too much stuff. There's not going to be a lot of room for all of that. Also, the suites are climate controlled with the thermostat located in the suite. So the roommates do have the ability to decide what the temperature is going to be. So they'll definitely want to have a discussion about that and set the temperature for the air conditioning and the heating through the thermostat located in the kitchen. Throughout the building, we also have several community kitchens. So these are located on every floor. There may be a couple per floor. And this allows residents to go and do their own cooking using a proper stove and oven with a range hood so they can do frying in a pan and all the other stuff that they're not allowed to do in their room. So this allows them to use their groceries to their full potential and save money on eating out or using their meal plans so heavily. So this is another great option. Okay, so what else should you bring? Under the bed, storage containers are a great option. There is an 11-inch clearance under the bed. You may be able to get up to 12 inches, but I would say 11 inches is probably safer. So you can get those totes or the storage bags that go under the bed, or you can just slide your boxes or suitcases underneath there. But definitely an opportunity to increase storage inside the room. A shower curtain and a bath mat is a great idea. Well, you'll definitely need a shower curtain, so you'll want to communicate with the roommate who's going to bring it. Otherwise, my suggestion is both bring one, and then halfway through the year when it gets a bit gross, you can switch it out. So best to just bring both. A dish rack or a drying mat, you probably only need one of those, but you definitely want to bring that along if you're going to be doing your dishes. And small appliances are allowed, so a toaster or a toaster oven, a kettle, an Instant Pot or an air fryer. Anything that shuts itself off when it's done and doesn't have an open heating element, those items are allowed. You're going to want to bring your bedding, of course, but we also might suggest bringing a mattress pad or a mattress topper just to make it a little bit more comfy. Our mattresses are pretty good. Most of them are Serta brand. Recently, we switched to a different brand, but they're fairly good mattresses. It's nothing terrible, but just to increase your comfort factor, a mattress pad might be a great option. There is a very simple mattress encasement on the mattress just to protect it, but nothing that increases the comfort factor. You want to bring your standard cleaning items. A stick vacuum is a great option. You can pick them up pretty cheaply these days. A broom, a mop, all of your standard household cleaning products you're going to want to bring along. Okay, we talked about what to bring. Now let's talk about what not to bring. So no hot plates, electric frying pans, or anything else that has an open heating element. Those items are not allowed. It's a fire hazard. It's against the fire code. And there's no ventilation in the room for those types of things. If you're frying things in an electric frying pan, the grease and steam is going up, but there's no range hood to take that out of the room. So it's just a bad idea. So don't bring those items. If we do see you with them on move-in day, you'll be asked to put them back in the car, along with any of these items that I've listed here, as well as some others. But these are sort of the top things. Thumbtacks or anything that will damage the walls, please don't use those things. Use things like command hooks or the blue tack to put up things on the walls, something that can be easily removed without damage at the end of the year. If you do use thumbtacks or anything else, or nails, and we have to patch holes, you're going to be charged for that at the end of the year. So definitely avoid any damage to the walls. Mini fridges are prohibited. They have a history to cause damage, and they're also not necessary because we do have a fridge provided in the kitchenette. So no mini fridges, please. Additional furniture is not a great idea, as I mentioned earlier, because there's not a lot of room. Nightstands are okay. Again, this isn't really a prohibited item, but we just want to let you know, don't bring it. There's no room unless it's a nightstand or a very small dresser. Otherwise, there's just not room for it. Subwoofer sound systems aren't allowed. There are quiet hours in the residence, but 24 hours a day, we do expect residents to be maintaining a respectful environment. It is a college campus. Everybody here is a student. So people are studying during the day, or they may be taking an online class or an exam. So it's really important that throughout the day, there's a nice, respectful, quiet environment. So subwoofer sound systems are going to cause too much noise at any time of the day, so they're just not allowed. Simple sound bars or smaller speakers, totally allowed. Just no big subwoofer sound systems. They're not allowed in the residence. Any large item that can't be stored in the bedroom. So as I mentioned, there's not a lot of space in there for big things, and we don't have any storage lockers or anything like that in the residence. So anything that you bring that won't fit in the room will have to be taken back home again. Pets, no pets allowed. Large house plants, not a huge amount of room for those. Keep it small. And then no weapons or replica weapons of any kind. So if you're a sports person or an outdoors person, do not bring your hunting equipment or your firearms or your bow or anything like that. Also no replicas, so you can't have a sword or Nerf guns or airsoft guns. Those just are not allowed on campus in general, and definitely not in the residence. Okay, so on to some admin. August the 14th is when the move-ins time slot selections open on the housing portal. So your resident can log into the housing portal account and select the date and time that you wish to move in to the residence. Time slots will be available on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And the official move-in weekend is August 30th to September the 1st. If you need to move in later than that, that's okay. We can accommodate that, no problem. We don't unfortunately have the ability to accept any early move-ins. So August 30th is the earliest that you're able to move in to the residence. If you have any special, extenuating circumstance, please reach out to us. But by and large, August the 30th is going to be the earliest that you're able to move in. After move-in on September 20th is the first fee installment, or the next upcoming fee installment for those who chose the payment plan option. Those of you who did the option 1 fee payments, you already paid all your fees in July or when you got accepted to residence. So if you've already done that, then that's cool. You're good to go for the year. Anybody that's selected option 2, you're going to be following this schedule. So September the 20th, $3,500 is due. Then there's a withdrawal deadline tier coming up in December the 1st, where the withdrawal fee increases by $500. So just keep an eye on that in case in January or November there's talk about moving out. Just take that deadline into consideration to save the $500 if that's going to apply to you. Then from December the 16th to January the 4th, the residence is closed for the winter break period. This period is not included in the regular residence contract and is not included in the residence fees. Anybody needing to stay in the residence during that time for maybe a job in the area or an academic purpose or some other reason that they can't go back home, you'll just have to fill out an application, which will communicate around that time how to do that. And then there'll be a small fee per day to stay in the residence. It's a much reduced fee, but keep in mind there'll also be reduced services available here. But we are here for those who need to stay. But by and large, everybody needs to go back home during that period. Then on January the 20th is the third and final fee installment for most people. Anybody doing a regular academic year, which would be September to April, most people are doing that. That's going to be the final pay installment, $3,400. Anybody that's doing the 3-term academic year, so that's basically a regular academic year plus next summer. So if you are a 3-term resident student, your final installment is in April. So you'll owe both the January and the April. Then in April the 22nd is the move out day for our academic year students. Please mark your calendar and make sure that you're available to support your resident during the move out process. And then in August 2025 on the 17th is the final day for those 3-term residents. Okay, so we wanted to let you know about a few things that your students should really get on top of now and get going on. Definitely encourage them to stay on top of their emails, make sure that they're getting the communications about move-in, the roommates, the time slot picker, any other information we may be sending out to them. So definitely encourage them to check their inbox and make sure that we're not going to their junk. Ensure that they've got a good photo on their housing portal profile. So if they log into their housing portal account, make sure it's sort of a driver's license or a passport style photo. It doesn't have to meet those specifications, but it should just be a plain photo of their face and not them with their friends or anything else. Just a face photo is what we need. On the same note, they're going to want to make sure to go log in and sign up for their AC card, upload their photo, and then once they arrive on campus, they're going to be able to go and get their AC card, which is their student ID, printed. They're going to use that for lots of stuff, and Laura's going to talk about that a little bit more later, but make sure that's on your radar. They're going to want to connect with their new roommate. As I mentioned, we're going to be emailing that information out, so they may want to connect, organize who's going to bring which item for the kitchen or the shower curtain, or just get to know each other and discuss some things in advance to make move-in day and their first week together go a little bit smoother. And they're going to want to make sure that we've got accurate contact details for them, including their mobile phone number and their preferred email address. We do stress that it's their email address. If you help them do their application and you put your email address down, please get that switched over to their email. They're going to be getting emails throughout the year for maintenance notices. Maybe the water is going to be turned off for maintenance activity, or the fire alarm is going to be tested, or the electricity is going to be off for some reason. They've got a mail or a package. We need them to get all of that communication directly, so please make sure that we have their email address. Mobile phone number is also great if we need to get a hold of them for something that's a little bit more urgent or we want to talk directly with them. Having their mobile number is going to be really important. Set calendar reminders for the fee deadlines and other important dates to make sure that nothing is getting missed and the accounts aren't getting past due. And also set calendar deadlines for the move out weekend and the winter break. Sometimes those can sneak up on you, so you want to make sure that you've got travel plans in place. And then just get them excited about coming to live with us and attending Algonquin College, because we're certainly excited to have them arrive. Okay, so what to expect on move-in day? So on move-in day, there is going to be free parking available in parking lots 10 and 11. Both of those are adjacent to the residence building. If your resident is bringing a car with them and they're going to be keeping that on campus with them, they're going to want to make sure that they've purchased a parking pass. And Laura's going to give us some information a little bit later on about that. But if your resident is bringing a car, they're going to make sure that they've got their pass in place for that. But day parking for those coming to help move in, that's free for the day in those two lots. Bring a cart or a dolly with you. We may have limited carts or dollies available, but we certainly aren't going to have enough for everybody. As again, there's going to be 1,000 people moving in over the weekend, so we're not going to have enough to go around. So just make sure that if you need a cart, if that's something that you're going to rely on, make sure that you're bringing it with you. Also consider that there's going to be long lines possibly for the elevators, so bringing items that you can maybe carry up and down the stairs in smaller loads might be also a good option to sort of speed things up, avoid those elevator queues. And we also would suggest limiting helpers coming to help students move in to 2 people per person. That's because we just want to avoid overcrowding in the corridors and in the elevators. So 2 people max is what we would prefer. Use boxes or suitcases that can be unpacked and brought back home. Again, there's not a lot of space in the room for extra stuff, so having it full of empty boxes is going to be a waste of space. So make sure that any moving materials are brought back home after, just to make it a little bit more comfortable in the room. Elevators are going to be in high demand, so again, consider making smaller trips. And please respect fire lanes and park only in the designated areas. We don't want to be blocking any safety routes or sidewalks. You don't need to load the car full of groceries if you don't want to. There's a Loblaws within walking distance, and there's also Walmart, Food Basics, No Frills, pretty much anything that you can think of within 5 to 10-minute drive of our location. We're really centrally located for shopping, including grocery shopping, so there's no need to load up at home. There's lots of great shopping available nearby here. And then please make use of the dumpsters on move-in day. So when you're done with your boxes, bring them out to the cardboard dumpster if you're not going to be bringing them home, or if there's any packaging from any new items that you purchased, please bring that right outside. Again, with the volume of people who are moving in, it can pile up in the corridors quite quickly. So please bring that directly outside just to help out, keep the environment clean for everybody. There's also going to be a really great move out guide coming out. It's going to be available on our website. It should be available now. And also your residents should have received an email directing them to the move-in guide. So definitely check it out. There's lots of other great information on there, but these are sort of some top tips to help you get going. And one last thing for me, I just want to let you know about our mailing situation here on Residence. So the entire Algonquin College campus has one address. It's 1385 Woodruff Avenue. That means it's super important for the shipping and receiving department at Algonquin College to know where the mail's going. So it's very important that on all mail and packages being received by residents that it's got their first and their last name, as well as residents mentioned in the address. If we just get a package that says Jane, residence 1385, well, there might be 6 or 7 Janes living in the residence, so that's not going to help us be able to get her package delivered to her. So we do need the first and the last name. Similarly, we need the word residence to appear. If we just get a package that says Jane Smith, 1385 Woodruff Avenue, or Algonquin College, they're not going to know which building to send that package to. So it's very important that when the package is received at the central shipping dock, that they know what building it's going to and who it's for. That way, when it gets sent over to the residents, we receive our mail daily during the week. On weekends, the shipping dock is closed, so there's no mail delivery. But during the week, we get our packages once, sometimes twice a day. We'll sort through the packages. We'll use the first and last name to identify the student in the system, and then we'll send the student an email to let them know that they've got mail, and they come pick that up from the front desk using their photo ID. So that's the process we have. We just wanted to let you know how it works here so that you can make sure that you're addressing things properly to your student and that you can help them get their apps and their Amazon account or their Uber Eats or whatever else they're doing set up properly with the correct address. That's about it for me today. I'm going to throw it over to my colleague William, and he's going to give you lots of other great information that you're going to need.
Okay, thank you to Jay for getting us started there. As a reminder, my name is William, and I'm the manager of Residence Life here at Algonquin. Residence Life is a term that we use to refer to a few different parts of our overall operation. And so, in particular, my team looks after running events, supporting residents. We refer them to different resources, and our resident advisors, other students, provide peer support during hard times. And we also resolve issues related to the rules in residence, which is actually what I'm going to discuss with you all first. So we do have rules that we need residents to follow while they're living with us, and all of these are written in the Residence Community Living Standards, which we call the RCLS for short. So that document contains all the rules, and then it also outlines how we as a department address situations where someone may have broken the rules. We don't make up any rules just for fun. All of the residence rules exist for a reason. They're intentionally written to make sure that the building is staying as safe as possible, and ultimately to make sure that everyone who's living here is able to study, sleep, and live generally in a peaceful way. So your resident will have already or will soon agree to follow the rules when they sign their residence agreement. So the RCLS actually forms part of their legal contract with us. And so we know it might seem like one of those, terms and conditions boxes when you're signing up for a website that we're kind of conditioned. Most people skip through them without reading. But the RCLS is actually really fundamental to how we make sure we're providing a safe and productive living environment. And we do take holding people accountable to creating a positive environment for themselves and their neighbors seriously. So we would really appreciate your help with encouraging your resident to make sure they have reviewed the RCLS in depth before moving in. And always feel free, have them reach out to a member of our staff if they don't understand anything, they want us to explain any part of the agreement. We're always happy to. So all of the full and official rules are in the RCLS, which can be found on our website. But I'm going to touch here on some of the common rules that parents, guardians, and supporters often do like to know about. So alcohol. Students who are at least 19 years old are able to drink in residence, but there are a few restrictions. So we don't allow large volumes of alcohol or any common source containers like kegs, for example. We also do require that alcohol only be consumed inside suites or bedrooms. So students aren't able to drink in the hallways, common areas, or courtyards, and that's just to make sure that everyone can always enjoy those spaces freely. Cannabis, and so again, provided they're the legal age, students can store legal quantities of cannabis in residence, but they need to be in a sealed scent-proof container. Students would have to leave campus to consume the cannabis though, and of course, growing cannabis in residence is also not permitted. Noise and quiet hours. We do have designated quiet hours in residence, and so these start at 11 p.m. Sunday through Thursday, and they start at 1 a.m. on Friday, Saturday, and they always end at 8 a.m. the next day. But outside of those quiet hours, we also have 24/7, 365 consideration hours. And essentially what that means is that even if it's not quiet hours, we always expect everyone in the community to be considerate of how the noise they make could impact others and then adjust accordingly. Guests, so residents can host guests. They'll sign them in with our front desk when they arrive, who will verify who they are by reviewing a piece of ID. We also recommend, and students are able to check their guests in advance using the housing portal, which makes the check-in process when they arrive much quicker because we already have all of their information. There are some limits on how often and how many guests can be hosted at one time, and all of those are found in the RCLS. The other important thing to know is that we do also ask residents to have open conversations on an ongoing basis with their suite mate about guests who are going to be visiting, so everyone's in the loop and feeling good about it. On the topic of alcohol and other substances, it's important for you to know that many students do use substances while they are students and living in residence. So as an example, on average, up to 70% of students drink alcohol in any given month while they are students. So stats on other substances can vary too, but generally speaking, what we know is that more than 0 students use substances. Oftentimes when students come to college, they assume everyone is using alcohol, cannabis, and other substances all the time, and that's not true. There's lots of students who don't or use them infrequently, but lots of students are using them. And so Algonquin College has a framework called the Umbrella Project, and it's actually a nationally recognized framework. Many other schools in Canada have based their programs and efforts around Algonquin's work in harm reduction. And if you're not aware, harm reduction essentially means that we support students to make safer choices when it comes to substances that goes beyond simply not using them. And so you can find a link to the Umbrella Project website on the screen now, but I'm going to talk a little bit more about the resources that they have for you. One thing that's good for you to know is that research shows that students who have supporters in their life who are able to have open and honest conversations with them about substance use are more likely to make healthier decisions when it comes to substances. And so with that in mind, the Umbrella Project has a whole range of resources, and specifically some for you as parents, guardians, supporters, and you can find those using the link on the screen now. We know that having conversations about substance use with your students might be something you're comfortable doing, or it might be something that would be new to you. And so hopefully these resources will give you a little bit more comfort in having those conversations. And as well, just simply referring your student to take a look at the Umbrella Project website would be really appreciated. And there's lots of incredible information for them to find on those web pages. We're going to advertise the Umbrella Project during residence orientation and throughout the year too, but anything you can do to encourage your student to take a look at those resources and reach out to them if they have questions would be most appreciated. So we just talked about safer substance use, and so let's zoom out now and talk about safety and security in residence more generally. What I really want you to know is that at the end of the day, safety and security of the building, and more importantly, the people who live here, are quite literally our top priorities. So, the reality is that anywhere that people live, there are going to be risks to safety and building security that come up, and no system exists in the world that prevents all incidents from happening. But I am very confident in saying that we have a pretty robust list of things that we do to make sure that this building is always as safe and secure as it possibly can be. So we have access control. There's only one entrance to the building, one main entrance, and it's right in front of our front desk, which is staffed 24/7, 365. Security guards, licensed security guards, are also on campus 24/7, 365, and monitor the whole campus through patrolling around, and also security cameras, which we do have in residence hallways, stairways, those kinds of things. We also have an on-call manager in residence, again, 24/7, 365. And so although our standard business hours for our administrative staff are Monday to Friday, 8:30 to 4:30, our front desk staff can always access a manager day or night to just make sure that everyone's feeling supported, that they're supported and your residents are supported as a result. Provincial privacy legislation and then internal policies exist, and they make sure that your students' privacy is protected at all times. And we also make lots of regular referrals to campus resources. Anytime students need any support with pretty much anything, there's a resource on campus. So speaking of support and resources, we have so many of them for your student to access on campus. This might be the first time that they are living away from home, particularly for an extended period of time, and of course that can be nerve-wracking for them, but also for you. That's totally normal. Almost every student and their supporters is nervous this time of year leading up to move-in, and so I hope it will be reassuring for you to know that the college has a dedicated department called Student Support Services, who provide a very long list of a whole bunch of different resources that can be accessed for free on campus. So that includes everything from the library to counseling support to career planning, and that's 3 examples of so many. We really see our job in residence when it comes to supporting your student is to know about all of those resources and then help your student get connected to them. So anytime that your student needs anything at all, they can reach out to their resident advisor or another member of the staff here. And if we can't help them, we will know who can, and we'll be happy to connect them. Some ways that you can support your student while they live in residence to be successful. Perhaps an obvious one, but please remind them to keep an eye on their email and their housing portal. We communicate lots of important information via email, and so regularly checking is awesome and very helpful for students so they don't miss anything. You can also encourage them to access those on-campus resources like counseling. They're free for students, but we also know that there can be a stigma around using resources and asking for help. So we work really hard on campus to normalize asking for help and to try to reduce stigma, and we really appreciate your partnership on that goal. Lastly, you don't need me to say it, but just so you know, the positive encouragement and support that you provide to your students goes a really long way. I often speak to students who are having a difficult time. That's a big part of my role. And the ones who have support and an open communication with their parents, guardians, or supporters always tell me what a big difference that makes for them and their well-being. And so please know that the support that you have and continue to provide to your students makes a huge difference. As I mentioned, we do take protection of privacy very seriously. Our policies about privacy protection are also mandated by provincial legislation. And so part of this, what you need to know is that we're not generally able to release any information about a resident, even the fact that they just live here, to anyone but that resident directly. And that also extends to parents, guardians, and supporters. And so with that being said, though, what I want you to know is that if you do reach out to us, even if we can't provide specific information about your resident, we'll always do what we can to help by following up on anything and providing general information where we can. So, for example, this happens sometimes. A parent, guardian, supporter hasn't heard from their student for a couple of days and they're worried, and so they reach out to us. We would always then immediately or at the soonest possible moment send staff to go just check in on the student to make sure they're well and encourage them to reach back out to you. So we wouldn't be able to then call you back and report on it, but if you did raise a concern with us, we would always action it right away. And so that's an example of how we have these really clear legislated requirements around privacy protection, but we're still happy to hear from you and support your student within those restrictions. So we can't always release information, but don't hesitate to reach out and we'll provide the general information we can. And anything else, we'll follow up with your student directly right away to help resolve it.
Hello, my name is Laura Grommet and I am the Marketing Coordinator with Campus Services. At Campus Services, we're all about making your time at Algonquin College simple and enjoyable so you can focus on achieving success. So what exactly does Campus Services do? We provide a wide array of services on campus, including food and conference services, retail operations such as Connections, the campus store, and course materials, print services such as running the print shop and campus fleet printers, parking, lockers, and card services, and of course, residence. A very important action that all students should complete before moving into residence is to upload their photo for their AC Card plus UPass. Your AC Card plus UPass is your student identification card. It is more than just an ID. It is your key to unlocking a world of convenience and opportunities on campus. It can be used to access your residence room, travel on all OC Transpo and STO routes free of charge, access labs and rooms, eat on campus using your meal plan, shop and pay on campus, borrow equipment, rooms, and more, as well as print on campus. The first step you will need to do to get your AC Card plus UPass is to log into Access and obtain your network username and password. Using your network credentials, log in to acphoto.algonquincollege.com, our photo upload site. Then you will need to submit a photo as well as a government ID. Be sure to pay your tuition or defer your fees. Next, check your email, and as you will receive an email to notify you when your card is ready for pickup along with instructions. At Algonquin College, you're never far from a freshly prepared, delicious meal on campus. Our food service locations at the Ottawa campus include the 35th Market Street Cafe, located conveniently right inside the residence building, offering chef's specialties and crowd favorites such as a hot and cold buffet, convenient snacks, and more. There's also the very popular Marketplace Food Court, located in D Building, Offerings you will find here are It's a Wrap, the Sweet Spot, the Salad Bar, ice cream, Luigi's Pizza and Pasta, Chef's Choice Daily Hot Meals, Taste of Asia, Kelly's Grill, and a self-serve coffee station, as well as AC Fresh to Go. The Fix is located in the Ace Building, home of the Fix Burger and a delicious stir-fry station. There's lots of healthy options there, including their Fix salads. Tim Hortons is located in A Building, offering all of your Canadian classic favorites, including ice caps and specialty coffees, donuts and Timbits, plus sandwiches. Booster Juice, located in E Building, offers a variety of smoothies, wraps, and energy booster balls. Next, we have the Portable Feast in B Building. This location specializes in Mexican flavors. It includes lots of vegetarian and halal options which are available. It is completely customizable so you can create your own delicious experience. Bits and Bites is located in T Building. They specialize in Greek flavors and all items at this location are halal. To use your meal plan at any of these food locations, you will need your AC card. Also, Food Services has a registered dietitian available to discuss any medical or lifestyle food requirements you might have and provide the options available on campus. Feel free to reach out to us directly to schedule a meeting. Connections, the campus store, is your one-stop shop for AC apparel, course materials, school supplies, and more. It is open year-round in H Building on the Ottawa campus. You can shop in-store during regular business hours or online 24/7. To get your customized book list, which is a custom list of course materials and textbooks needed for your courses, students will first need their AC Network username and password, which is available in Access. Next, visit thecampusstore.ca/booklist. To help bring value to our students, Connections, the campus store, offers 3 ways to save. Prices on course materials at the campus store are the same or less when compared to buying directly from the publisher. The campus store sells a variety of used books as well to help you save roughly 25% of the current new selling price of the print versions. Also, when available, digital resources are another great way to save on course materials, as learners can save up to 50% off the print edition when they go digital. The college printers allow you to print, copy, and scan at a variety of convenient locations across campus. Each term, those who have paid the full IT fee will automatically receive a print balance on their AC card. For the fall term, a $13 print balance will be added on August 26th. The $13 print balance is equivalent to 100 single-sided black and white 8.5 by 11 pages. You require your AC card to be logged into AC Secure Wi-Fi and to install the driver prior to printing to Fleet printers. Visit our print website for instructions based on your device. We also have a full-service print shop located on campus for larger projects that may require specialized printing requests, such as posters, project binding, and more. If you will have a vehicle with you while you are living in residence, there are a variety of short and long-term parking options available, including annual permits, monthly, and daily parking rates. The residence parking lot is P11, and for the most value, we recommend purchasing an annual permit. Parking permits are on sale online only. Short-term parking can also be purchased on the Honk mobile app or website. It's good to note that our parking services is permitless, When you pay for a parking or purchase a permit, you don't receive a receipt or a paper permit. Your license plate is your permit and how we will confirm valid vehicles on campus. So please double check that you have inputted the correct license plate on file. If you prefer to use sustainable transportation options to travel around the city, our Ottawa campus has over 700 bike parking spaces, including ones located right around residents. We also have bike repair stations located outside of Student Commons, the E Building, B Building, and the ACE Building. Secure your belongings and lighten your load by renting a locker on campus. Beginning on August 26th, you can reserve a locker effortlessly for only $21 per term. To rent your locker, visit algonquincollege.com/lockers. We make it convenient for you to keep your belongings safe and organized. You can also rent a locker for multiple terms at once for added convenience. That concludes the primary information on what you need to know about campus services. If you'd like further information, please visit algonquincollege.com/campus services. We have some handy frequently asked questions listed on our site. Also, feel free to reach us by email at campusservices@algonquincollege.com. Also, to stay up to date with any of our promotions and happenings in campus services, you may follow us on social media or scan the QR code to join our mailing list. Thank you very much.
Thank you for taking the time to watch this information session. We appreciate you getting involved in supporting your student resident for the upcoming academic year. If you have any additional questions, if we didn't cover something that you were hoping we were going to, or if you had a follow-up, please send us a line, info@algonquinresidence.ca, and we'd be happy to help. Also check out our website, algonquincollege.com/residence, as there's a lot of great information on there, as well as the three-dimensional interactive tour of residence. I definitely suggest checking that out. It'll get you a good feel for how things are prior to arrival, just to get you and your student excited. Other than that, we wish you a safe trip, and we look forward to seeing you on move-in day.